Indeed, and greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Thank you so much for joining me, for sharing the space with me, for keeping it open for me. I appreciate you so much. How are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing, my friends? It's so nice to have you here. When it rains is here first. Whoa, whoa, relax. I know why I do it. It helps me deal with thoughts that maybe need longer to process. Also, thank you for that reflection. Thank you for coming to that point when it rains, and thank you for taking the topic. Today's intention, today's topic, today's feeling we want to explore is why do we distract ourselves? Mash. Indeed, Toasty, she's eating my hand right now. Thank you for joining me, Brother Bear. But why do we distract ourselves? And I don't think it's wrong for what it's worth when it rains. Just to preface today's talk, I don't want to talk about us distracting ourselves in context of, oh, this is something we're doing wrong and we have to change this. It's definitely not. I'm not coming from that place because I'm one of the biggest people to distract themselves. So I'm more trying to address this topic, this feeling, this energy of self distraction from a place of learning about ourselves. Hey, oh, thank you for joining us, big fan. I don't think I've seen you before, friend. It's very nice to have you here. It's so hot, and she's definitely not helping. Huh? Peppy? When she's gonna sit next to me? Yeah, like that. I don't know if you can see that. Can you, baby? Your pup is so cute. She's a little character. Thank you for joining us, big fan. Okay, this is the first thing that I saw when I opened this little book. It says commitment is nothing more than the deliberate decision that something will be so. So, like, especially, oh man, I feel sometimes these things we're saying, I feel like they find me more than I find them. The second one here is life is living you, but the first one that I read is very much the one I feel clicks into today's intention, today's message of self-distraction. And I feel it's like a call out to myself a little bit. Commitment is nothing more than the deliberate decision that something will be so. I feel I feel it's coming to me in this context of it's okay to distract yourself as long as you have things that you are committed to as well. And I think When It Rains said it very perfectly at the start of the stream today. She says that she sometimes distracts herself to help her deal with thoughts that may need longer to process. Thoughts that may need longer to process. Commitment is nothing more than deliberate decision that something will be so. So even if we distract ourselves in the meanwhile, even if we have to do other things to fill time in the meanwhile, because we've made the commitment that something will be so, it cannot be changed. And it's something that really fascinates me. The whole 2080 rule is something that a lot of people are familiar with. But the way I've been thinking about the 2080 rule today is in context of life and decision making in life and action taken in life. And I basically felt into this message of if you make 20% of the right decisions, 80% of your life will reflect that 20% of correct decision making. And I think it's the same thing for our commitments, you know? If we allow ourselves 20% of our day, 20% of our time, 20% of our energy to flow into our commitments, and we still give 80% of that energy to other things, entertainment, uh, you know, whatever distraction you choose, it will still be okay. And that's where that commitment message I feel is very much in resonance with what we want to talk about today. Because it's one thing to distract yourself I want to say unknowingly, if that makes sense. Can you distract yourself unknowingly? Maybe, if it's unaware distraction, I feel it can be put in a negative light. But if it is distraction paired with commitment, maybe it has some value. Maybe it's important even. Like there is this energy inside every single one of us that we go into our days with, and worrying, self-doubt are energetically intensive things to do. Like you spend a lot of energy just doubting yourself, fearing things, worrying about things. And it can get so bad where you feel like you don't have any energy left to do anything else. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you can work so much, you can do so many things that you feel you don't have any energy left for being yourself, for life in general. So I'm trying to, in my own life, try and find some sort of balance between commitments, the commitments I've made, the commitments I want to keep fulfilling, and also allowing myself to distract myself with purpose, with intention. I'm thinking about a friend that tuned into the streams once. He's been here before, I think more than once, but hasn't been in a while, called Chill with Purpose. Instead of just relaxing, instead of just being distracted because you have nothing else to do, you're distracting yourself until there is something to do. And you know what that something to do is gonna be. And I feel like that is the formula, if you will, I'm trying to figure out in my own head right now. First, Naomi, thank you for joining us. Jenny is here as well. 80/20 has been a good thought tool for my nutrition as well. Yeah, if your diet is 80% controlled, you know, veering off or deviating by 20% in that, you'll still be completely fine. You'll still get 80% of your results. But I mean, unfortunately, and you know this as well, probably, Naomi, like with exercise, 80% of your your progress comes from diet. And that's the weird thing as well. You can exercise as hard as you want to. If you're not going to respect your diet in the same way, you just won't make that much progress. Good morning, friends. Good morning to you, Mariah. Good day. Good day to you. Thank you for joining us here on the farm. It's very nice having you here. I'm rolling myself a little joint. Our message from the things we're saying was commitment is the deliberate decision that something will be so. It will be so. And we've made the commitment to share love with this world every single day. I've made a deliberate decision that it will be so. And we are making it so. Quite literally, are making it so. And I'm curious as to how much of this is subconscious. There goes my little rolling paper. Oh, I caught it before it flew away. How much of it is subconscious? Man, did it take my freaking message as well? What did I want to say? Subconscious. Oh, okay. So yesterday I've made now another commitment, a deliberate decision that something will be so, to make daily works of art. To take something that people would consider ordinary, like a photo, and to turn it into something visually pleasing, something you can look at and be awe-inspired by. I guess people's awe inspirability differs, but that was my intention. And usually I have an alarm at 222, 22 past 10 to make sure that I actually post that work of art. And today, before 6 o'clock, yesterday I should say, before 6 o'clock, my work of art was up on the Patreon. And at 6, our Wi-Fi just stopped working completely. Distraction. Let's see if this joint is going to distract me. Distract. Okay, distract instead. And the internet goes off completely. And, I spend time waiting, and by 10 o'clock at night, we still do not have internet. And I think to myself, if I had distracted myself, if I had distracted myself like I usually do after these streams, and only tried to now upload this work of art that I made this commitment to, this commitment would not be fulfilled. I would not be able to do what I've committed to do because I've distracted myself. And yet yesterday, without even thinking about distracting myself, that piece of work got made. It instantly got made, and I instantly wanted to share it. And in my mind, I was like, okay, this is gonna get done. No, 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 no. But then afterwards, if you look back at these sort of things, you ask yourself how much of it was subconscious, how much of it is your mind being like, okay, this needs to happen now, so make it happen, and how much of that happens in our day-to-day lives. You know, stuff that we do, stuff that we finish, stuff that we commit to slash distract ourselves from. How much of it is this subconscious? I don't know exactly how to say limiter, means of means of exploration, uh, a sandbox in which you can play it. I don't know. Ew, it's nice to have you here. Limited psychological bandwidth. Hmm. Hmm. Distraction. In context of the amount of power you have, in context of psychological bandwidth. What a cool word that is, Toast. Psychological bandwidth. You know, I really like the word bandwidth because, in my mind, what bandwidth represents is the channel through which information flows. And if we're thinking about psychological bandwidth, then we can think about, again, the channel through which your psychological interpretation, maybe, your psychological, even interpretation, just strength, your ability to see beauty in things, for example. I believe that is as a psychological power because there's not always beautiful things to be seen, but there always are. Okay, no, no, no. There are. It's not always easy to see beautiful things, but it's all. There are always beautiful things to be seen, and for some reason, if we find ourselves in a state of fear, in a state of self-doubt, we see less of that beauty. And unfortunately, we're the ones generating that fear and that self doubt. And in Toast's words, it eats up our psychological bandwidth. That ability for information to flow into us from our immediate environments, like the beauty of the grass around me right now, for example, can be taken up by the psychological bandwidth of self doubt, of fear, of trying to plan for something, trying to correct something, trying to remember something. Thank you, Toast. Man, what an inspiration you are. Co creator. Mm. Ermias Blur, Peppermint, Mononoke. Hello to you. Like the new scarf. It's not that new, it's kind of new. I got it last year, November, from a friend called Merman. He sent it all the way from America. Cost him $57.36. I was blown away, you know, that someone would be willing to. But Merman absolutely loves me as I love Merman. He loves the space. Stephanie is actually the one, his girlfriend, who sent me the scarf. Merman and Mermama sent me a blanket. They sent me a fossil. They sent me a card from Merdad's or Mergrandpa's. Mergrandpa's eulogy. It's beautiful. And now I get to wear a bit of Merman and Stephanie and Murica on me, you know, in this moment. Getting informed by. It's in my visual field. Whatever orange does to my brain, it's happening right now. Thank you, Peppermint. I agree that they find you, but your mind is what creates the reflections of those ideas. That's a good point when it rains. Like that is a good point. We are like ultimately the ones that are doing it to ourselves, our own minds. You know. Okay. Oh, do I want to share this? It's such a weird story, and it was weird for me. It was weird for me. Like, and I'm not easily weirded out, and it's one of those stories that feel like it can be very easily written off like a okay, yeah, right, or okay, what is that supposed to mean type of story. But Bear with me. Yesterday, I I was super tired. I was super tired, but I again couldn't really get myself to fall asleep. So I took a melatonin pill. I first I took a bong hit, then I took a melatonin pill, which usually takes like 40 minutes or so to kick in for me, and then I started exercising slash dancercising, I guess, doing squats in rhythm with music. It's pretty intense if you do it right, and I was having a good time. I was having a good time. I was, like dancing with myself. I was thinking about the future, thinking about what we want to do. Like Sensei actually has been reaching out to me about creating a class, and I've been thinking about adding with this class just, I don't know if it's instructions, but teaching people how to dance, as a means to enjoy life more. And while I was dancing, I I noticed in my own body language I was making a crossed shape, and then in the middle of the cross I was making an infinity. And I was thinking to myself, am I thinking about Christianity? Am I mimicking Christianity as a body language? Am I what is this behavior? I start asking myself. And I ask that question, and the question goes unanswered. And I go back I go to bed actually, to actually go and lay down, and I close my eyes, and I see these beautiful, what I would call them, pre-dreams, if you will. And then I see again this cross in my mind's eye, and I take that as my opportunity, if you will. Like I grew up in a Christian household, and I've been trying to be Christian my entire life, with no success. And again, I still try. I do still try. And again, yesterday, I ask, I'm like, Jesus, if you're a real entity, if you're a real thing, talk to me. I'm here to listen. And then I start seeing this work of art that I had on my phone, that was saved onto my phone. It wasn't mine. I see this work of art in my visual field, and I see it being torn apart, like it gets destroyed. And I open my eyes, and I'm like, that's kind of odd. I know that work of art. And in that moment, I rationalize this, what I just saw, me asking for this thing to talk to me. I see it ripping this little work of art apart. And then I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? So I go to my phone, I find that work of art, and I delete it. And as soon as I delete it, the next picture that rolls over is another work of art that has written above it, Jesus was a mushroom. And it's this photo of a mushroom in the middle that has an infinity symbol geometry in the middle of it, like where the middle bar of the cross would be. And if you complete that infinity symbol's arc up into a point, that's literally the mushroom that I saw. And I started tripping out. I was like, oh, this is where I was supposed to be. And I've already closed my eyes. I've already made the intention not to touch my phone. And then after asking this question, after seeing this little work of art being ripped apart, going and deleting the work of art because that's what I felt my subconscious, my mind was telling me, and then finding this message, Jesus was a mushroom. And in that moment, it felt like an epiphany. It felt like this question I've been asking, this deity I've been trying to connect to, if you will, never was a deity. It was us experiencing psychedelic mushrooms. And in that psychedelic, enlightened, if you will, as much as you can call it enlightened state, there would be a realization of certain informational truths in this universe. And if you come back and you talk about those informational truths, and those truths that you talk about gets documented, if you will, it can be seen as the words of a Jesus character. And it felt like all of these puzzle pieces just clicked in that moment. I and the reason I'm so adamant about asking that question, and I'm not shy about asking that question or even talking about it, is because my dad believes that I'm in the seeking process, of trying to find Christianity in my life again. I used to be a Christian. I used to be a big Christian, like one of those obnoxious Christians, the types. but it was riddled with fear. It was riddled with fear. It was riddled with guilt. It was riddled with separation. And every single time as a kid, I would try to connect. I would ask, for information from this space. I was never allowed it. You hear these stories in the Bible of these wise men, who have angels appearing to them and God talking to them in their dreams. And I'm supposed to hear all of these stories and I'm supposed to believe all of them, but I'm not allowed to experience any of it. And in my context, in my mind, as a kid, if this God I'm supposed to believe in is so powerful, infinitely powerful, why would he not talk to me? Why would he not talk to me? And it was a it was a difficult thing for me to realize that what I was expecting was this voice outside of myself. This thing that was clearly not me talking to me. Can you not? Thank you. But now I realize that that's not the case. It's within each and every single one of us. That thing that I was looking for is within each and every single one of us. It's not somewhere there, it's right here where we all are. And mushrooms, Jesus was a mushroom. If you eat enough of them, you realize that. You realize it with a level of clarity, with a level of understanding that frees you. It frees you completely because you realize I'm here. There where I've been trying to go, that thing that I've been trying to find, that experience I've been trying to have is right here. And it's surreal. It was surreal last night, and I was like thinking to myself, okay, I hope I can take this feeling, this energy into my dream state. And I don't remember dreaming a single thing. Maybe I forgot most of it, but maybe this is the reason. Distractions. Distractions. This life is full of distractions. And for that reason, we don't get to see as much of the beauty. It takes up too much of our psychological bandwidth. We get distracted, and then we miss it. But it's never lost. It's never lost. It just kind of goes by us. What do you feel, friends? Do tell me. What do you feel? That's a nice mug. Hermes Blur? Thank you, Toast. Shui to you, my friend. I can't really say your name. CLK? Silk? So, Schwag says McDonald's. Trumpet, the shirt is distracting. Look away, friend. Close your eyes and just like perch your ears. Maybe it helps. Lamar midst. What is that? This is a joint that we've rolled with the intent to distract. Maybe not with the intent to distract, but with the intention on this joint is distract. But I'm trying to. I feel like I'm distracted. Like being distracted right now. I want to understand. I want to understand this feeling of being distracted. This feeling of being pulled somewhere else. This feeling of wanting to be somewhere else. This feeling of being somewhere else until you can be somewhere else, right? It's like, oh yeah, okay. Tomorrow at this time, this thing I have to be there. So because at this time I have to be there, now I get to be here, or I get to do this thing and I get to be involved there, and I get to be involved there for only this long until I have to be there. And we allow ourselves the I get to be here before I have to be there in a distracted way. Sometimes we feel lost. We feel lost within that distraction. And that's what I'm trying to point in myself. Like, even though I distract myself, I don't want to be lost in the distracting of myself. I want to distract myself with a purpose. I want to be fully somewhere if I'm distracting myself instead of fully being there and wanting to be distracted while distracting myself. And you friends have probably experienced that as well. You're watching something on Netflix, take your phone out and you start scrolling Reddit as well. And when I do that, I like call myself out on that and I'm like, really, dude? Really? Aren't you watching something? And I'm like, fine, fine. I'm gonna put my phone down. Fine. I'll I'll not be too distracted, but because that's what it is. That aimless distraction is the thing that I'm trying to address. That's some nasty looking herb, man. It is, dude. My heart, my soul. It's homegrown. Don't bite me. Just trying to get comment karma. I don't know if we can give. Do you actually get comment karma on the? Oh, that's toasty doodles. Oh, are you going to start doing doodles and posting them? I do hope so. Need to commit to a different shirt. You unknowingly wore it today. It's a distraction. I knowingly wore this shirt today, actually, turbulent ad. So if it's distracting you, I feel it very much fits into the narrative. I was having a bad day yesterday. I reached out for support from my supervisor and was treated poorly. I distracted myself by watching Joe Pera Talks to You on HBO Max. Now I'm working again. Jenny, I thought you felt a little bit better yesterday. And your supervisor, like, did you reach out about work? Not feel making you feel well? Like, I want to know more if you'd be willing to share. Does it count because I'm listening to this on my phone as I'm distracting while also playing Minecraft? I think it counts, Naomi. I think it does count, right? A little bit counts? Yeah. Is it CBD or THC? THC, my friend. Is this guy low key packing a bowl? Uh, I packed a self collapsing one use chillum, if anything. But not a bowl, friend. We also call them joints. Most likely THC. Yeah, everybody's high friend that nobody listens to. Thank you for pointing. For pointing so accurately. If you had to try and pinpoint, that was close, dude. Just always hit me. Thank you, Fred, for your love nonetheless. Thank you for the silver. 1.2K listening now. So much love. Thank you so much, dude. My bad. He's actually rolling a joint, technically, yeah. But I heard that some people call joints slash blunts differently depending on where they are. A blunt in South Africa is if it's tobacco paper, weed on the inside, like pure weed on the inside. And if it's like a normal, this is hemp paper. Yes, this is hemp paper. Then it's technically a joint, at least here in South Africa. How about there where you are? More bots. So many bots. I can confirm I'm bot. Boop, 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 boop. Lamar, haven't had a good spliff in ages. Because you don't want to? Because you haven't had the opportunity to? Because you stopped? I'm curious. Mr. Reddit sucks. Where are you from? I'm from South Africa. Somewhere warm. Very much so. I don't know if. Can you see it? I mean, I can see it. There are visible spots that are significantly darker than the rest of them. It's hot. It's really hot. I'm distracting myself with this stream right now. We're always distracting ourselves when it rains. And again, I'm not trying to be like, it's wrong to distract yourself or this or that. I'm fully pro distracting ourselves because I believe if we're not in a constant focused state, we want to be distracted. And if we don't allow ourselves those distractions, then we become unbalanced. So I believe having distractions in our life can be very beneficial. I just want to be less lost. Less? Is that the way you say it? I don't want to be lost if I'm just distracted, I want to be one or the other. I felt better in the morning. Then I brought some concerns to them. They invalidated my concerns and told me that to just do it. I felt like I was unimportant and irrelevant. I asked to be moved, but I will have to wait for human resources to get back to me. What is it you're doing, Jenny? What is it they expect of you? Maybe if you like purge a little bit of it, share some, it will be a little bit easier. If it's classified information, I understand as well. Now I'm having trouble naming how I feel. Like maybe talk about more of it. Talk about what came before it. Talk about what you felt before all of these things happen. And then, I mean, you're completely accurate with your naming of these feelings as well. You're not irrelevant or unimportant for what it's worth, Jenny. Here we are, sharing attention with one another instead of allowing ourselves to be distracted past one another. Like, what is it they expect you to do? And do you feel unimportant slash unappreciated in that moment because they don't see this problem the same that you do? From oh wait, do you puzzle-headed hippo? What's the context here? Are you making a J? He's rolling a joint. That's right. My brain likes to forget about all my responsibilities until 20 minutes before I try to go to sleep. Yes. It's like, oh yes, rest. And then your mind is like, what are you resting for, bitch? What are you resting for? What about this? Huh? Why is this not done? And you're like, bruh, I'll do it tomorrow. You're like, oh, sure. How about this other thing that you said you'll do tomorrow? Huh? How about this thing? How about this? For me, Toast, like it's the responsibilities as well, and if I remember about responsibilities while I'm trying to go to sleep, it's like I get defibrillated. Defibur rated. And it's just like it's a jolt of energy and I like jump up and I'm like, okay, this thing needs to get done almost manically. What happens to me usually when I'm trying to sleep is I get these ideas, these sometimes contrived, sometimes beautiful, sometimes inspired ideas. I'm watching a butterfly getting dive bombed by birds. Dude, you need to run. You need to survive. Maybe you'll be in frame. Who knows? And then you're like in this dream state or pre-dream state. You're laying down, and now you're having these imaginations of this fantastic idea. And then you're like, one, I don't know how to realize that with the technology I have right now, of the technical skill I have right now. And two, I don't know how to even word that. So these days, I've just been like getting up, taking a voice note, and then ending the voice note. So I feel like I can at least capture some of that creativity. But then I find myself after having done that like twice, I'm like, do I really want to save this one as well? Because I know if I don't save it in some sort of technological medium, it's just gonna get rolled into the rest of the creativity. Oh, it's very nice in my country. It's more Poland. Hashiks. Welkom in Iceman. Ek is so die mekaar, my vriend. Dankie, current car. I think you might be from the Netherlands. Is more Poland. It's very nice in my country. Is more Poland. You dude, I'm confused. And then the Iceman comment makes me think of, Wim Hof. They don't see the problem the same way I do, but it's not because I haven't explained it to them. I feel attacked because my coworker is contributing through my work and sending me emails. Is combining, is combing through my work and sending me emails with corrections. Are the corrections valid, Jenny? I feel maybe that would be the context to think about. Mosquito just went and sat on my puppy's nose. I had to kill it. Are the corrections being made valid ones? Is it going to contribute to more success, more love, at the end of the day? Because being corrected doesn't feel good to anyone, for what it's worth, Jenny. Like you're not missing there. Sure, they are valid. Okay. Okay. But is that the thing that's bothering you? Do you feel being corrected is what perturbs you in this moment, or do you feel not being understood or understanding the problem differently, and as a result of your difference and understanding, implementing different opinions or different strategies, they are not important? I'm not sure exactly what's not important right now, Jenny. Your way of seeing it? I'm just trying to understand with you, my friend. We can work through these feelings. not distract ourselves instead. Because with feelings, it's especially like that, especially with bad feelings, where we distract ourselves from them. We try and move past them. We try and conclude. We're like, okay, this was happening, that happened, and then I felt this way, and then, okay, feeling done. But that's not how feelings work, is it, Jenny? No, it's very much not how feelings work. I'm here with you, my friend, to feel with you. Thank you for spending the time. Thank you for showing up nonetheless. Can I send you a pic of your doppelganger, my brother? Yeah, please. Please, Mononoke. I would love to see that. Merman is the OG. He's such a freaking cool dude. Good morning from your boy, Gabity the Doggity. Thank you for joining us, Gab. It's so nice to have you here, dude. The Gabby the doggy. Good morning, buddy. Hey, pals. Even Talia is here. Hello to you again, Red Sucks. I love those trip reports. Thank you. That wasn't even a trip report. That was not even a trip report, Talia. That was just, I guess, is it a trip report? I took a bong hit, I guess, weed smoke report. I guess I don't think people would take you too seriously. Here is my account of smoking weed. Here's my report. People would be like, we know what smoking weed is like, dude. Put yourself down. A coincidence of you discussing Christianity and religion. At the same time, my son and I were relighting the offering flame for our friend I had mentioned to you this week. A friend of When It Rains passed away in a car accident. And it's difficult to share this because it's painful information, but her son passed away in this car accident. They had the dog with them as well. Hopefully the dog will make it through. She is in the hospital right now, hopefully getting better as well. And that's what when it rains is pouring is talking about when she's saying she's relighting the offering flame. Christianity slash religion. If you'd be willing to share with me when it rains, how does the offering flame tie in with religion? What's the offering flame? There we go. I'm curious as well. It's a fire in honor of a child that has transitioned back to the spirit world and an offering of strength to the mother. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. I I haven't seen traditions like that practiced in a Christian religion. So I'm curious if it's a different religion you're practicing when it rains. Oh, that's kind. I'm so sorry to hear that, Rain. Same. The child's grandfather had a vision slash dream of the child telling him to build a fire. Okay. Those scenarios, those situations are so surreal to me because they happen to us with such clarity. And we experience them in a way that is so, I want to say, true. Oh, there's a bug. There's a bug in my water, and as soon as I took him out of the water, he just yeeted. Ah, Ermias Plur. I feel that for all people involved. We are technically, collectively building a fire in this space, bringing our individual torches, putting it on the same spot, burning together, feeling together, synchronizing our collective heat. So many had a fire last night, but that is not my need for distraction either. Streaming every day. Yeah. Yeah. Streaming every day, my friend. 380 days of streaming every day. People involved. The fungus among us. Yeah, quite literally. And it is among us. And I think Paul Stamets is the one that said it very beautifully, where he was like, if you had to create a religion, a perfect religion, the religions we have right now wouldn't even be close to it. It would be the mushrooms. Because instead of it being this trust slash belief slash faith system of believe us, I'm serious, dude. Like there's this entity out there somewhere, and if you don't do these things, and if you don't say this combination of words, then this entity is just gonna torture you infinitely. Literally, you think your life here is long, like live 100 years here, and then you get tortured for billions of years. Sulfur fire pits. Whoa, 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 whoa. And it's like, bruh, hey, bruh, that's a little bit of a yikes set of information you just gave me. You have any proof? No, 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 no proof. You just believe me, okay? Big yikes. But then If you feed someone 5 grams of mushrooms, they're going to have an experience. I can guarantee you. They're going to have an experience so significant that it will probably change their entire lives. You know? And that it might be for the best, it might be for the worst. I would want to have some agency and say it would be more for the best than it would be for the worst. But that's the thing. It's something so surreal, so interactive, so accessible, if you will, that religion doesn't make sense in the religion we believe in as a society, a large scale society, doesn't make sense in context of informational systems that are already here. You know, again, this message, Jesus was a mushroom. It's already here, you know, it's something that you can eat and you can have an experience with. And it's like it talks to you. Weirdly enough, it's like it talks to you. It's like it takes on a voice of its own. And you can say it's your voice as well. You can be like, it's just another part of your subconscious coming to light because it has the informational bandwidth to do so. And you know, I'll concede that that's possible as well. But it's within us, and we have these things a part of our planet, literally growing from, you know, cow patties, growing from the ground where cows walk, growing out of wood as well, growing out of mulch beds. You know, where human beings kind of try to create gardens. It just randomly starts growing there. It's like it follows human beings around. When we started to domesticate animals, we had, you know, pastures of cows. Mushrooms started growing there as well. We have been coming along with these things for so freaking long, and this information is with us at all times. It's just that we distract ourselves from it, and we can distract ourselves indefinitely. We can never get to have those experiences. I think it was Timothy Leary who said LSD induces psychosis in those who don't take it. In those who don't take it. That's, I mean, I won't go as far as to say something like that, but it's a funny thing to say. It's a very funny thing to say. Information is so weird, and we experience it constantly, you know, in this realm. And we experience so much of it that we distract ourselves from it, you know, and we distract ourselves from one set of information to another set of information. It's like, oh, this set of information, my life, my thoughts, my feelings around my life, my thoughts. Too much, I'm going to feel this part of life, this part of thoughts, this part of experience instead. And then we distract ourselves. But we do that with so much. We do that with so much. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. No, the common karma question. This is gonna be my streaming account. Woohoo! Yeah, Toasty Doodles. I'm looking forward to it, man. Do tell me that you're actually going to be doodling as well on these streams. Like, I'm looking forward to some finger dancing, but definitely some drawing streams as well. Brother, the cross story is deep. I have totally rejected the stories of the Christian God, but when I get deep in yoga, I have these feelings of what I would call Christ love energy come to me. Not running back to church, but exploring the feeling. Thank you, Brother Ryan. And it is in that context that I'm willing to share these stories as well. Because if I wasn't willing to share things like this, then it would inform me to a part of myself that has some sort of doubt as well, has some sort of limitation, some sort of belief that there is something missing. But because these informational patterns come to us, you know, as a collective, I believe it is something to bring up in our consciousness and talk about. You know, like technically, the human face has a big ass cross on it as well. So even if it is not an actual symbol of, you know, someone getting crucified, it's a symbol of our own faces, something that we're looking into every single time we look at another person. So on that level, I also had this informational revelation to me that it's you seeing Christ in people, in people's faces, looking at their eyes. You can see Christ in them as well. And this Christ, you know, this, as you're saying, Christ love energy is also what they call Christ consciousness. And it's just, again, this word for something. What I believe this Christ consciousness is in my world, in my way of understanding, it is fundamental consciousness. So like in the Trinity explanation of God, there is God, then there is the Holy Spirit, and then there is Christ. But if God was this unity, this part of God would be consciousness, and that is Christ consciousness. And then if you become conscious to the point where you have God consciousness, you're experiencing that Christ consciousness, that Christ love energy. And it's present. It's within each and every single one of us. You know, that's what comes back to me every single time. It's not out there. It's not I have to say these cute words and then it's going to come to me, or I'm going to be allowed to go there where it is. It's here. It's with us. It's when we do yoga. It's when we do breathwork exercises. It's when we chant. It's when we pray. It's when we do psychedelics. It's here. It's here with us. It's when we have conversations with one another. If you're completely present, and you friends have experienced this, I hope at least, when you're completely present with another person, it's like the rest of the world disappears. It's like just you and that person are the only parts of infinity that matter in that space. And that is consciousness. That is consciousness looking at consciousness. And it's beautiful. Distraction gives us creative energy. That it does when it rains. And I'd go as far as to say it informs our creative energy as well, not just gives us creative energy. Because for example, I consider myself a creative person. I draw, you know, bro, I make works of art. I've made music. I want to make more music. I'm writing right now. I'm streaming daily. I love being creative, but it can be difficult. And I find myself starting a creation and then distracting myself away from it for extended periods of time and then coming back to it and being able to work on it feverlessly, you know, with focus, with passion, with commitment, and then I distract myself from it as well. And then every single time I come back to a creative project, I come back with a new level of information, a new informed perspective because of the way that I distracted myself. The things I distracted myself with had the benefit of informing me to be even more creative. You know, like it's like juice, if you will. You know, you can use the juice to be more creative. That's true, Rain. Good point. Yeah, Rain is very on it as well. Very, very much on it. I know, got your comments from 11 minutes ago. I hope you're having a good morning as well. Like, to you, friends, if you'd be willing to. Oh! Sorry, Gloomy Sunshine. I haven't seen you in forever, but if you'd be willing to, like, go onto Toasts or Toasty Doodles, yeah, just like Toasty Doodles account, and just go to his little comment section and just go and upvote all of his comments. Let's get him to like 150, I think he needs. It's minus 34 degrees Celsius here. Shout out to Jovan today, and I was fooled because I was looking here at the warm backdrop. Yes, yes. I never thought that would happen when it rains, but I feel that is the biggest honor I could have ever received from anyone. To be so viscerally connected in this space that you forgot that it's actually cold outside. That makes me so happy. Thank you for sharing that with me. And again, give me sunshine. It has been a while. We've missed you. We've dearly, dearly missed you. How are you doing? How are you doing? Hey, Hud, so much love is coming your way. There are no words that can ease your anguish at this time. I'm with you right now. Thank you, Toast. So, all we can be is here. They are, yes, they are Mikimak. Mikimak? Mikimak. I'm so sorry when it rains. I'm probably butchering that word. I'm going to light a flame now to bring us in as much light and love to these people as possible. You know, on that note, thank you, Ryan. Thank you for inspiring me, encouraging me to do the same. When it rains, it pours. It's so true. So when it rains, it pours. You have light coming from multiple places in the world. Another flame. Mayakai? Is the boy's name Mayakai? M-A-I, double pointed I, A-H? Mahaya? I want to say his name. Please do remind me again when it rains. It is believed that he has made his journey back to the Creator and is with his ancestors. I believe so as well, my friend. There's pubic hair on your head. That's the second time someone said that exact comment, but it's a different user this time. So I will say again to you, I love you and I appreciate you, friend. Thank you for sharing the space with us. Mm. I hope everyone is warm and safe right now. It is minus 15 degrees Celsius. Gloomy sunshine, where do you live, my friend? I hope you're staying warm and safe as well. This is your second account? Bruh. Am I streaming on my Beetlegeese account right now, Toast? I might be. Am I? I hope not. Or are you talking about the other person? Yeah, I think it might be the second account as well. Hello, what part of South Africa are you from? I'm from technically Gauteng? Is it Gauteng? Maybe. A town called Klerksdorp is waar ek gebore is where I was born. And then after Klerksdorp, we moved to a place called Allen Ridge, which was like a little farmer's town. A farmer's town, I guess you could call it. It wasn't very safe. It was a little bit of a yikes for all intents and purposes. So my dad decided we need to move. So we moved to Rustenburg. Rustenburg, we stayed for I think 2 or 3 years, and then we moved to Groblersdal, a little farm town in South Africa, and that's where I am right now. You're like, oh, Mel, stop doxing yourself. If you want to come and visit me, I'll accept you with open arms. Literally, I'll just give you a big old hug. I'd be very impressed if you made the journey. So how could I not hug you? Whoa. What if when you die, you could be buried in a mycelium substrate, and then your loved ones would then collect the mushrooms and trip off of you? So, Toast, I don't know if you know, but there are mycelium built coffins available now. They actually, so they just have like a mold, and then you take a grain, and then you grow mycelium into that grain, and it keeps that mold. But I do believe you fire blast it after creating the mold to like set it in place, so it might die. And with the knowledge I have right now, I don't think psychedelic mushrooms grow on biological matter like that. I mean, technically, all they grow on is biological matter, but they grow on poop. They usually like growing on poop or wood. I don't think they grow on flesh. I think worms have to eat it first and take it into the ground and then poop it out, and then the mushrooms can grow on it. I like the idea. I really like the idea. So it's not exactly the same, but this is the thought I had. When I die, they extract all of my endogenous DMT, and then someone gets to smoke that. That's what I thought about. And because that it's possible. I don't know how much endogenous DMT I have right now. We do have, by the way, a quite significant amount of endogenously produced DMT. But if it was possible to just take all of that DMT and take my body and just separate them from each other, and I be still standing alone, and then all of the DMT be here, I wonder how much that would be if you could have like 100% extraction, right? Damn gloomy. Here are so many people with extremely cold weather. Absolutely unimaginable for anyone who isn't experiencing it in person. Especially since it's hot in South Africa. You know what's crazy to me, Talia? and I've seen it with my family as well. This weekend, oh no, no, not this weekend, this Christmas. My I was sitting with the adults. I think I spent a total of, just to be cute, I wanted to say 45, but 44 minutes with my adult family members. I would spend time with individual adult family members, like I would talk to an individual. But if it was group talk, I couldn't stand it, unfortunately, because it was either, let's say, fear about the current state of the world and what's going on in the world. You can extrapolate that for yourself, or it would be talk about finances, what they've been doing, how they've been making money, how they want to be making money. And the last one was just like blatant misinformation about the world, for example. You know, like one conversation that at least my brother was like sitting next to me while this conversation started, where my uncle and my dad start talking with one another, and they talk about how cold the winter was this year. And my uncle is like, I don't even believe global warming is real. And my dad is like, "Oh, I don't believe it either." And me and my brother, like comically, like in a movie, like slow pan looks at each other. Slow pan looks back. We don't say anything. We just don't say anything. We're just like, okay. So it was hilarious. Oh, yeah. Mycelium is everywhere. Yep, yep, yep. There is life on this planet. You're right. Mycelium was here first. It literally created a world that this life could thrive in. If it wasn't for mushrooms, we wouldn't be here right now. Quite literally. Like, I'm not even talking about psychedelics, just the mushroom. The mushroom, technically, there are three subspecies. There are plants, and there are, biological creatures, and then there are fungi, on the tree of life splitting off. And fungi are less related to trees than they are to us. We are less related to trees than we are to mushrooms. Like that's a trip. We are more mushroom than we are the trees and the foods that we eat in this world. That's weird. That's so weird. And then oh, we have these brains, these neurons that benefit from certain compounds, like lion's mane, for example. Not a psychoactive mushroom, medical mushroom, very delicious mushroom as well. And it has a compound in it that boosts brain-derived neurotropic factor, the very thing in your brain that makes it neuroplastic, the very thing in your brain that grows new little brain cells, makes new little connections, the very thing that you need in order to recover from traumatic brain injuries. A mushroom gives you a compound that upregulates that. Why? Why would this mushroom produce something like that? Why? Why you do this mushroom? And it looks so weird. It's a tooth fungus, they call them. So it has these little long tooths that grow out of it. Beautiful. The texture of that mushroom feels so weird. The taste tastes like steak. Well, not really like steak. It's wonderful. You basically take slices of it and then you saute it in butter, and it's divine. It's a gorgeous mushroom to eat, and it has the benefit of boosting your brains. Shiitake mushrooms, we know have benefits. Turkey tail, we know have benefits. Cordyceps, we know have benefits. Chaga, we know have benefits. So many of these fungal species that we're now really trying to integrate back into humanity that have life-changing benefits. Life-changing benefits. I'm looking forward to what the future is going to hold. We're going to learn so much. Yeah, drawing and painting streams. Oh, yes. I'm looking forward to it. It's truly unimaginable. It's beautiful, though. No, you, Gloomy. No, you, my friend. I don't understand the concept that a creator of time, space, and love itself is casting those it loves out forever because they used the wrong name for God. Right? Toasty, and this is something I've tried to, I want to say try to get through to my dad, but I guess that's the incorrect way of thinking about it. But I take him through this narrative, you know, in the same way that you just did. I'm like, so there is this creator, right? And my dad is like, yes. And I'm like, and he created everything. And he's like, he didn't create sin, he says to me. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. He didn't create sin. But he created everything else, right? He's like, yes. So he created us in the way we are right now, you know, body and everything. He's like, yes. I'm like, okay. And he's above time, outside of time, right? He's like, yes. I'm like, okay. So if he's outside of time, he must know everything that happens in time. He's like, yes. I'm like, okay. So within this infinity he created, him being outside of it and also being an observer of it, sees within this infinity things doing things infinitely, and then some of them he damnates into infinity. So my dad thinking, yes. I'm like, all right, all right, okay. So why? I ask him, and he's like, because of justice. I'm like, what do you mean justice? What does that mean to you? Why are you saying the word justice like that? He's like, oh no, if there's no justice, then we don't worship a just God. I'm like, okay, so you think it's just to damnate, to punish more than you can punish anyone in this life. You know, you can skin someone alive and it wouldn't be as bad as the conceptualized hell. Let's talk about skinning someone alive. You would skin someone alive for eternity, every single day, have them regrow their skin, skin them alive again, all over again, for eternity, for billions upon billions upon billions upon billions of years, because they used the wrong word for God, or didn't want to use a word for God because they felt it might be disrespectful to what God is, and now you're damnating them forever, forever, because of, let's say, 100 years worth of potentially bad experience. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? And why do you think you would have time for that? Do you really think this infinite God would just be like, okay, next? Yeah, Toasty Malosty, you smoked so many joints, dude. What the hell? Oh, those plants just wanted to live their lives. They just wanted to be in the ground, and you were like, nah, I'm gonna burn you and put you in my lungs. Infinite hell for you, my O. It's like, bro, what the fuck? No, no, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense. It cannot make sense. You know, and it's so clearly human. It's so clearly this patriarchal dominator of, oh, if you don't do the thing that I say, then infinite bad for you, you know? I'm infinitely good, so if you don't do what I say, then you must be infinitely bad. There's so many Stop trying to dominate us. Stop trying to dominate us. Even dominating a dog, you know, as a human being is something to be pitied if you see it. You know, I get outraged, of course. But if I see someone being mean to a dog, I feel sorry for them, first and foremost. I feel genuinely sorry for them because I'm just thinking what experience they must be having to feel so powerless that they want to exercise that power over something less than them, if you will, smaller than them, less powerful than them. And then if in my conceptualization of God, it's this being that is of infinite power, actual infinite power, and then it would want to use that infinite power to belittle me? Are you serious? Are you serious? If you're infinitely powerful, then you're not gonna try and put things down. You're gonna try and uplift things infinitely as well. Belief, Toast. Oh goodness, belief, man. It's so powerful. It's so powerful, and it gets hijacked, I think is the right word. I'll be back on here sometime this week. You all have a safe, memorable weekends. Do something nice to yourself, for yourself, someone you love, and someone you don't know. Gloomy sunshine. Thank you, my friend. So much love to you as well. We look forward to seeing you again Is this cannabis mania? No, not exactly, Freya. We are definitely are fans of cannabis, but I've been smoking this same joint. I've smoked this much of this joint in like an hour. So we're not trying to excessively use here. How about you, Freya? Do you smoke? Hey, waffle makers! Nice to have you here. Happy Saturday to you, friend. Mik, Mikma, Mikma, Mikma. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. There is a candle burning for Mikma and for all the friends who can't share their light in this moment, in this stream, or in this world right now. Light will be shared. Light will continue to be shared. Makaya. Oh, there we go. Makaya. Makaya. Makaya is the right name. That's the boy's name. Makaya. It's a beautiful name as well. Thank you, Makaya, for the life you've lived, for the love you've shared, for the people that you've touched, and for the impact that you've had on the world. I thank you for the impact you will continue to have. Makaya, thank you so much. When it rains. Hello, hello to you, Gob. Thank you for joining us. Free Mai, free Mai, free Mai, if you will. I don't know what Mai is. Future cat map. Future cat map. Thank you. Thank you for your participation. Cool to you, successful party. It's a fine wake and bake morning. I'll be working at a on paintings and stream today. Which one? Are you gonna finish the golf one? Are you finished with the sour ones? I think you are, right? I think you're finished with the sour ones. Are you gonna start a new one, or are you gonna continue with the golf one, Gob? Gloomy lives the next region down from me. Okay, so she's close to the cold weather as well. If I ever bump into you in South Africa, I'll invite you to my house party. Thank you, friend. I appreciate it, full three system. I won't promise I'll be a hit at your house parties, but I will not show up empty-handed. I'll bring a bunch of pre-rolled joints that usually diffuses many scenarios. Oh goodness, I feel awkward. Start smoking a joint. People come closer to me. Can we smoke that joint with you? Yes. In fact, you can. Thank you for welcoming yourself into the space that we've created now. And then we have cool conversations. That's usually how it goes. I'm gonna write this shit into my way. Yes, Gab. The problem is that there will only be a certain, it'll only be that big of a flush of mushrooms, and I would want your family members to have all of your psychedelic mushrooms, but I would want some of them as well, and I would want a large quantity of them. So I feel it would be unfair. No man, she was up to some shenanigans. Much, 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 much. She has a little anti-tick color on. It has like some sort of compound that it off gases that kills the ticks that run across her head and up her neck. I hope it helps. Not ticks, fleas. She has been a lot more flealess, if you will, so I guess it works. Do you ever think about ants and how small they are, but yet they carry on with their duties like it's the most important thing in the world? It's just like a real small version of us. Future Catman. She just noticed the flame and that it's making sounds. Future Catman, I think about that more than I'm comfortable with it sometimes. You know, I actually took a picture of that lizard I was telling you friends about yesterday. And, you know, I think about lizards in the same way. I think about these little dogs. I think about the birds that are chirping around me. Not only are they living their lives as if, what did you say, as if nothing is going on, uh, like as if it's the most important thing in the world. Technically, the experience of life, the experience of carrying something back to your nest to contribute to something larger than yourself, to your community, to your society, to your collective love of life is what we're all doing. The birds, these little dogs, us in this moment, we're doing that. And I sometimes I'm envious of a little ant with such dedication, of such clarity of purpose, being able to pick things up and carry it back to his nest, because it has a level of clarity for this universe that I feel we can sometimes lack. Mm, uh, maybe maybe because we're so much. I want to call us more complex. It's difficult to call us more complex, but because we have such complexity in thought, it causes us to think about so many things, consider so many possibilities, that it's difficult for us to know with any level of certainty what we're supposed to do. And even if we know what we're supposed to do, is that going to make that big of a difference? This, like being a streamer, if you will, more a sharer of light, is what I would consider myself, and just a streamer, has been that for me, has been me as an ant finding the thing I need to carry back to the nest. And the thing I'm carrying is love. It's like I have this bit of love in my hands, and I want to bring it into this world. But if I put it down and I don't carry it, then it won't be picked up and carried. So now I'm picking this love up and I'm carrying it every single day, and that has become my resolute goal, my want for this life, to share that love with the rest of the world. And I feel it's possible for us to have these things. It's possible for us to want to live life in that way, to have that as our purpose. Because if I'm gonna ask myself, oh, maybe my resolute purpose is to be, uh, like for instance, when I was an 8 year old, I wanted to be a chemist, and I wanted to specialize in making chemical weapons, because in my 7, 8 year old mind, I was fascinated by the concept of pointing something, pulling a trigger, and watching it melt away. I'm not even joking about this. That was something that was fascinating to me. And I remember sharing this with my cousins, about a bullet that you'd be able to shoot, and then after shooting this bullet at a wall, for example, that whole wall, or at least a portion of it, would be melted away, and you'd be able to go through that. And technically, with the chemistry we have right now, it's not actually possible. But that was my 7 year old interpretation of what I wanted to do in this world. And if I continued, if I, in my 7 year old mind, succeeded, and I was now making chemical weapons, and I spent my entire life making chemical weapons, and these chemical weapons get used to kill all manner of things, be it creatures, insects, human beings, and then a million, a billion, a trillion years pass, would that have helped? Would it have brought more love into this world? And now, if I had to tell my 7 year old self that, oh, instead of being this, chemical weapons engineer, you became a hippie. It'd be like, what the fuck? How did that happen? I didn't sign up for any of that. But it came with a realization that love is the only thing worth sharing in this life. In that context of a trillion years later, I feel love is the thing that is going to have forever value. Eeuwigheidswaarde. And it's with that realization, with that belief, that we're showing up. It's the only way. It's the only way. Even though we're small, even though we're, I don't want to say, our actions might be insignificant in the whole. Our love isn't. That's the only thing that I think is not insignificant. And that's why we show up, friend. I think ants did the same thing. They carry that bit of bread to their hive because of love. These little birds feed themselves, keep themselves alive, because they love this experience. They love being alive. They take care of their little babies, feeding them, literally going hungry, breeding or warming them up, letting them hatch, and then going hungry by feeding them the food they're supposed to eat to these little babies. Love. Love is the thing that, transcends all of the rest of it. Whether or not that bird pooped here or pooped there is irrelevant. Whether or not that bird broke this thing or fixed that thing, shared a beautiful song or an ugly one, those experiences won't necessarily be as important as the love that has been extracted from them. Oof, Jovan. Oh, did I miss some? Mariah said, I have dreams of three little monkeys of different types, trying the first psychedelics and having dreams themselves. Ooh, that's trippy. Ooh, Jovan. We have had not one chill, man. It's 30 here. I'm not one to go outside. We also just want another snowstorm. We just had another snowstorm last night. How many centimeters of snow did you get, Naomi? Damn, Mel, talking about mushrooms. I have a book you might like. Do you? Like, one of the books that I've read about psychedelics is Michael Pollan's How to Change Your Mind, which, in my opinion, is one of the most valuable books that reference psychedelics. And then zoom out. There we go, future cat man. What if there's some bigger species than us that are looking down at us like ants? Weirdly enough, future, like I had that exact thought yesterday, but I didn't have it in the context of us being the size of ants. I had it in the context of our entire perceivable universe. The spherical perceivable universe is encapsulated within a spore that is being released by some sort of fungal entity somewhere, if you will, in the larger infinity. We're just this spore of potential life, floating through the air right now, maybe landing somewhere, maybe germinating into something even more magnificent. That's a trip I had. So yes, yes, dude. Zoom out, man. We never know. Like that's what we like talking about here as well. Is the fact that we don't know. We don't take any hard stances of like this is the way that it is. Nobody questioned this. Nobody say anything else. Some tornadoes is just as bigger than some tornado is a bigger being wiggling his foot. No, that one you're missing me a little bit with, friend. Because tornadoes, have scientific basis. There's a reason for tornadoes. There's a reason for the clouds to be above me right now as well. But we don't know what's outside of the conceivable universe. So if it's inside of a spore or not, it's completely contrived. Who knows? I worship dog. Thank you, friend. Keep doing that. Give him all the scritches. All aboard the damned train. Choo choo. Oh, that's a perfect description. Melt, you are telling the story of all my dogs before they came to me. Hmm. When it rains, you feel you resonate with that? If a man kicks a dog, you can kick him in the balls without remorse. I agree with that. Oh, it's house arrest. Thank you for joining us, my friend. It's nice to have you here. It's been a while. How are you doing? How are you doing? How's Mammy? I don't know if you've talked to her in a bit. I'm so sorry to hear that. When it rains, I'm happy that you get to rescue them from that environment. Cannabis mania, also known as reefer madness. Gotta love propaganda. Love you, Mel. Choo choo blue. Thank you for joining us, my friend. Reefer madness. Mm, look at me, mad. I'm not really making the best claims because a lot of the stuff we talk about here, in context of what people that would consider themselves sane would consider insane, I'm probably smack dab in the middle of reefer madness. But reefer is not what allowed that. We are right now smack dab in the middle of madness, just as it is as human beings living on planet Earth. If anything, weed allows you to calm down, at least in my opinion, regardless of the madness. Melt, I need to go to work on the sour lemon painting with a blue background. Okay, I'm really curious, dude. I was wondering about that actually. Maybe I thought you maybe finished it in your own time. Is Ma'am here? No, and you actually asked about that. What a trip. She's not here. I think she was maybe for a little bit, but not right now. I gotta go now. I'm wishing you all a stress-free and happy Saturday. Much love to you, Talia. Thank you so much, my friend. Free my was a biodome quote. Oh, right over my head. I'm sorry, friend. I don't get the reference, but I'll see if I can remember to check out that link. Thank you. Radiant Ice. Hi there to you. We have Uncle Becky here as well. Thank you for joining us, brother Brandon. So nice to have you here, man. I mentioned watching some Polish Shore during the stream, but in real life. Yeah, I'm lost. Radiant Ice says, "Hi, I want to spread love, so here's an upvote." Why, thank you. I appreciate that so much, my friend. That's so nice of you. Is there a reason you wear a scarf? Does it have some meaning? So, one, it is a psychedelic influence. You know, as I move, it can wave around, and that can be trippy. As I dance, I can use it as a means to dance with. As something to look at, I don't know if you can see the pattern as well. You can see it better in person. But as something to look at, it is visually beautiful. As something that can keep me warm, you know, as a scarf does, it is useful. And if it gets too warm, I, uh, I add water onto the back of my neck, and then it does has the added benefit of leaching heat from my body. So there are all my reasons. Also, if I really have a hard time rolling, I can like create like a little mini windshield here between my legs, you know, and I can work here without being interfered by wind. So yeah, yeah, I wear them for a reason, you know. I think this is the most functional piece of clothing that I wear, and I do dance with it. Like I'm unironically, I think I dance more with it than I've been wetting it or I've been using it as a windshield. I really like dancing with my scarves. It's like a little entity of itself. When my son turned 8, he wanted to be a streamer. Thanks YouTube Minecraft videos. Why not when it rains? Why not? You know, even if he doesn't end up being a streamer, I think it would still be good for him to put himself out there like that, to learn what it's like to try and pursue something like that and what's going to come with it, the thoughts that are going to come with it, the feelings that are going to come with it, and help him to start building. Scarves are cozy and have many uses. In this case, probably some airflow from the heat. Thank you. When it rains, I appreciate your love too, my friend. They look cool too. They do. I was thinking maybe there is a religious meaning. No, you know, if any, I guess you know, like it's so. I want to say a bunch of things. There's this song called "Signs" by Menumas, and it has a line in it where well, that goes, "There are only two ways to live your life. You can live it as if nothing is a miracle, everything is completely mundane, or you can live as if everything is a miracle." And in the context of your question of religion, we say here a lot that religion is when a bunch of people come together and they agree on what God is, where spirituality is the pursuit of what God is. So the scarf can be that as well. You know, the pursuit of what God is. To dance with my scarf, I'm looking at it. You know, like I weirdly enough, it's more fascinating watching me dance in slow mo than it is to watch me dance in real time, because I feel like there's a whole other world of experience to have watching me dance in slow mo. Because the way I move this scarf, it's like a wrist flicking thing, you know, and it happens so fast that by the time you can notice it, it's already at the end of its loop. But if you can see this happening in slow mo, and you can see how I move the scarf, it's like this thing is alive. It's like it is dancing with me, you know. And I'm the one putting energy into it. I'm the one making it alive, if you will. I can see life in it, and it's surreal, dude. Like these scarves could be, you know, for seen as for religious reasons, but it's only if you want to see it in that way. Thank God you are not making weapons. Paying in pain. My friend, what there is in the world needs to be destroyed before man can ascend to the next level of existence. Paying in pain, you know, I don't feel it would need to be destroyed. It will be transcended through mind, you know, and a way for me to make that make sense would be to show you an environment that is arguably messy. You know, the frames are skew, and there's a bunch of things in corners, and there's like a jumble of a mess of bunch of differently colored things, all piled up together. And you can have two people walk into that room. One with a five-dimensional ascended mindset, and this is just me trying to make an example, and one with a three-dimensional stuck mindset, if you will. And those two people will walk into a room, and the person with the five-dimensional perspective will see beauty, will see entire fractal worlds in these messes, different colors, different shapes, different depths, different nuances, different textures that is within this mess that I'm looking at. And I can get lost looking into that mess as if a fractal universe unfolding in front of me right now. And the second person that is stuck in just this three-dimensional way of seeing the world will be like, look at that mess. That's a mess right there. I can't believe this mess is here, man. I don't want to be in this room. It's disgusting. This mess is making me uncomfortable. And I think that's a rough example of what I believe is happening to us as a society right now. I don't feel we have to destroy everything, but I feel we have to reach a new level of awareness, consciousness about everything and how we see everything. Thank you for joining us again, Pagan Pan. It's so nice to have you here, brother Ben. Genuinely, it's gonna be a joy for eternity every single time I see you. These streams of yours are not quite unlike mycelium. The conversation weaves through the chat as a linear tracking of the intention, and the tangents said aloud are the fruiting bodies. Ooh, ooh, yo, when it rains. You see, like, how would I ever have had this experience? Has anyone ever had this experience when it rains? What a beautiful thing that is to say. Mm, mycelium growing through the chat, and then as soon as we say something, it's as this manifestation of a fruiting body, something that you could, in theory, pick, take with you, consume, if you will, take to heart, see how it makes you feel, see how it transforms your perception of this reality. Woo! Woo! When it rains, thank you for melting my mind. I appreciate that so much. I was in Ooh, okay. Paying in Pain says, I was in a psilocybin therapy program at a medical unit in Boston to get over PTSD from being shot at all the time. And it works. There we go. Yeah. I mean, Paying in Pain, with the pain that you've been going through in this part of your life, and, having shared what you did with me, I won't bring it up again, just out of respect for you. Have you considered going through psychedelic treatments again or experiences again? I'm really curious, man. Lower your little man. That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm not. I'm the last person you should be like, yeah, look, you see, weed doesn't do anything to you. Because if people see me smoking weed and talking about the things we talk about, it's like, oh goodness, keep your kids away from that marijuana. We're gonna corrupt our children's. It's a little bit mad. It works. They sure do last tasty. Thank you, Toast. Hey, to you. Thank you, Salty Malalti. It's nice to have you here, my friend. Which movie? In the Army Now, Jury Duty, Son-in-Law, California Man, and Chino Man. Ooh, and Chino Man. That's a vibe. That's the only one that I know. The rest of them are just going over my head. Maybe Jury Duty I've heard of. Hey, it's Michelle, says Estian, joining you in being awake again. Spread love everywhere and make a big mess. Melting into it. Literally, Shell, like I've been able to visually see this as well. My life, my actions, my love as this momentum, moving into this immovable object. And the only thing that can happen when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object is they melt. They melt into each other, just like a to become something new. And I've been able to see that as a visual representation for my life. melting more into it. Shell, thank you for doing the same. Thank you for inspiring me in this very moment. I appreciate you. How are you doing? It's nice to have you here again. We're 12 hours apart. Goodness, that's a lot of hours. You know, quite literally flipped on its head. Can you say ooh woo? I refuse. I refuse to hit high notes when saying ooh woo. But there, it's been said. Kamakarna, it's been said, my friend. By the way, I've seen your streams many times, and you're a beautiful person. Keep doing you. Future Catman. If you didn't say that to me, bro, I would have probably quit. But I appreciate you so much for saying it because now I won't be able to. Now I freaking won't be able to, dude. How dare you? Inspire me so. It's like 20 minutes latency. No, it's like 8 minutes. House arrest. I'm sorry, friend. I know it's a part of these streams. I need to somehow figure out how to travel to the future. Is that gonna work? Is that gonna help? I need to somehow live in a quantum state where I can answer each and every single question at the same time. And you asking the question can hear your answer in perfect clarity and also hear all of the other tangents at the same time as well and understand perfectly what I'm talking about. Yes, we all need to move into the quantum state of existence. We're not 20 minutes we don't have 20 minutes of latency. We just have 20 minutes of not being synced up into a quantum realm. House arrest. Am I pushing it a little bit? Waiting on results. I think I just slept for like 18 hours. The dreams were wicked, and I was lost somewhere. Someone stole my truck, and I had to put together a complex table for some kids in the street. May have been an IKEA table. Okay, so what a trip that is. First, Uncle Becky and Aunt B might have COVID right now. I don't know if you're still in the critical urgent care unit. I hope you're back home, Uncle Becky. And now he's telling me about this dream he had. Being lost somewhere, first and foremost, is never a good experience. That feeling like you don't know where you are, you can't find your footing, you don't know where, like, you are somewhere, but you feel you're not supposed to be there, but you're also unaware, don't know how to find where you're supposed to be. It's anxiety inducing. Someone stole his truck, even more anxiety, dude, taking even more of your freedom away. So not even didn't you feel free in the very moment you were in because you felt lost, and it's weird because technically feeling lost and being free could be seen as the same thing. But let's not dive too deep into that. And then you have your truck stolen, dude, which is even more of that, lack of freedom, feeling of being stuck, feeling of being, I want to say limited, Uncle Becky. And then the last one is you trying to put together a complex table as a problem, as a puzzle you're trying to solve. And this feeling of helplessness, this feeling of loss, this feeling of powerlessness or limitation, on top of trying to solve this complex problem, is is even more anxiety inducing. And then you're experiencing all of this while your body is fighting an infection, trying to get healthy. I feel what you're feeling, Uncle Becky. You're like, oh no, no. You give it to me. I feel with you, my brother Bear. Hit live, and it will bring you to where the streamer is now. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving our friends the informations. Howdy. Both are classics. Hollywood hated on Mr. Shore, but he was just wheezing the juice. Like, the words you're saying do not make sense to my brain, Future Cam. And I love it. I love it so much because it doesn't happen a lot. And I'm not being like, I just don't know what you're talking about. And I don't know what to say. I'm like, yeah, I'm saying what I'm saying right now because I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Oh, I thought of it because he is a child of comedians. A child of comedians. So many things I don't understand. His mum ran the comedy store. Didn't she at one point? Your scarf is God. Your God. Pagan pain. This little fly flying around me. The grass I'm sitting on. This little being next to me. It's all God, my friend. You know, there's no separating us from that. Ourselves from it. Ourselves from each other. Hanging there, Uncle Becky. Hope Aunt B is okay. I hope so as well. Thank you for the love you share so much, Ryan. It was basically another child for her as far as what the family, more information I don't understand. When my Wi-Fi is out, then my Wi-Fi is out. No, I'm a little bit behind as well half the rest, so I think it may be a little bit of both. The man makes my life so much better. Legit love him. He's fantastic. You know, Uncle Becky has been doing the same. Just been sharing so much love. Positivity breeds positivity, negativity breeds negativity. You legit make your own reality. We're doing it right now, future Catman. We're doing it right now. It's all about your perspective, you know, and it's why people have these egoic wants to share their perspectives and to have that perspective justified. You know, especially if you're doing so with a theory. You know, if you expect people to see your perspective. And if they don't see your perspective, then suddenly you're now separate because this person doesn't see your perspective. We're creating our own perspectives. And if anything, if you've figured out how to create a good personal perspective, try and share the good coming from that perspective instead of just trying to share the perspective. You know, you can do both. The one and only. Keep taking them 3 breaths. Yeah, that's the way. 3 breaths in, 3 breaths in, 3 breaths out. For some reason, I feel like an owl. He just needs to be aware that's what we're doing here. Truly, truly, we just need to be aware. You know, and as I say that, I start listening to that little candle. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me bring this closer. Hmm. Those sounds have been there the whole time. But as soon as I focused my awareness onto it, I allowed myself to appreciate it. And there's so much to appreciate that it's sometimes difficult for us to find a place to put our attention so we distract ourselves, right? Then there were parents like me that would be fine letting their kids hang out, and I would be curious on what they taught you at the end. I'm happy that parents like you exist when it rains, genuinely. You know, and a part of me wants to stop smoking as well because I want to be able to talk to kids in this space. But I feel I feel kids will do what they're gonna do regardless of outside influence. You know, they definitely do what they do because of outside influence. But my influence isn't going to be able to make that difference. Especially since these things aren't necessarily always enjoyable. You know, that's why if I'm gonna talk about any substance, it's going to be weed, it's going to be LSD, it's going to be DMT, it's going to be mushrooms. It's going to be those four because those are the ones I have personal experience with. But the only reason, and I've struggled with this now for a long time, the only reason I'm willing to share about my experiences with these things is because it's not always nice. And that's the only reason I'm willing to share about them. Is because they're not always nice. There are experiences within those worlds, if you will, that are not always nice, that can be difficult, that can be challenging. Literally, you get out of those experiences sometimes being beat, like you're tired, like you've ran a marathon, and that's why the community of people that take psychedelics call themselves psychonauts. It's like a diving into the space that is within. And sometimes you're gonna get hit by some stuff that you might have forgotten about or might have suppressed. And if you get hit by that stuff and you're not willing to embrace it, then it's gonna keep hitting you because now you're separate from it. So you're floating in this mind space, and this thing you don't want to confront is floating in your mind space, and you're just like, and then flying past each other, and then flying past each other, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna ignore it for a little bit, and then it comes back around, and then flies back into you until you embrace it, until you're like, oh, let me look at you, let me see why it is you're hurting me so much. And if you allow yourself to do that, you can heal. But it's not easy to do that. And these experiences don't make it necessarily easy. And that's why I think it's valuable to share about them. And I don't think that kids would listen to me, even if I wanted to give them advice. I'm never. I try to make that very clear as well. I'm not giving advice. I'm sharing a perspective. And you friends get to have your own divine perspectives, and you get to share your perspectives and your advice with me as well. And we don't have to listen to one another as in this person just gave me a fact and now I'm going to reevaluate my entire life based around that. It's more this information is valuable. I wonder how it applies. That's what we're doing here. And I appreciate you for allowing me to apply so much information. Hey, dude, she has her butthole right up against my leg. Like right away, and I'm like trying to move her little body away to not have butthole right up against me because she has her back legs on the cushion and her front legs on the ground, like chewing on some grass, and it's a bone. Just like butthole flush with my leg. All you gotta do if you get summoned for jury duty is wear sweatpants and acting different towards the law. Fat Daddy booty magic. I don't know if that's a reference to something, but it's nice having you here again. Who is getting called for jury duty? Is that something that happens regularly? You get summoned, right? Just randomly. Do you have to apply to become a jury duty person or what? Can you go to the pot store next door to the liquor store in the state I live in and buy all the weed and hash you want legally? That's so sick. You can buy hash at pot stores? I guess you would be able to. I don't. For some reason, in my mind, hash was a black market only product up until 3 seconds ago. Thank you, Paying and Pain. I guess that's where your son got the good hash he's been giving you. I'm very happy that you can actually buy it from a store, dude. That makes me even happier. Ooh woo. Thank you, Toast. Traveling to the future is easy. Going back in time is hard, even for astronomers. Traveling to the future is easy, you're saying, when it rains. I feel if you're going to travel to the future, it's one of an infinite possibilities. So it's easier to do that than traveling to the past because the past has collapsed into a single possibility. Right? I think that's what you're saying. Is it when it rains? Mm, I have avoidance type personality amongst other mental issues. I have no problem about being open to people. I have a problem with receiving critical or positive feedback. So apologies if I ever bring bad vibes. I'm trying to trust again. Thanks for streaming. Choo Blue. All I've ever experienced from you, my friend, is presence, you know? And I feel that's neither a compliment, me being critical, or me being positive. And I'm saying that with that intention. You've been present, and that's all we can hope to be. And I appreciate you for being that, YouTube Blue. You're so loved. Thank you for joining. My prayers are with you. I wasn't aware of your situation until the stream today. Thank you for sharing love, my friend. Uncle Becky is a strong individual. Aunt B herself as well. They're going to get through it, I'm sure. BBQ and the Boots coming along with him says, "Hey Mel, just ended my stream titled 'We think we're killing time, but time is killing us.' Just stopped by for a second. Have a great rest of your stream and day." Like I don't know if you're here, But that's trippy because today's title for our stream is about distraction, and if we think we're killing time by distracting ourselves, while time is actually killing us while we are distracted. So I think it's very much in synchronicity. Thank you for joining us. I basically tricked the kids and made them think the table was put together. I told some jokes and I walked away. They were happy the table was built. Probably fell apart a few seconds later. Fell apart a few seconds later. Choo choo blue. So much love. Thank you. Thank you so much, Uncle Becky. Maybe an allegory for IRL work? Yeah, I'm feeling it as well, dude. I'm feeling it as well, man. Like that's what I was also going into, Toast. Highbrow. The highest of brows. Thank you for joining us, my friend. I'm guessing you're saying hi, bro. Hello to you. Barat! I didn't I appreciate you joining us. Hey, 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 what are you doing? She's tickling my bum. Uncle Becky, Meltmore, and Future Catman camping trip to 2023 under that tree. Don't you dare threaten me with a good time. Future cat, come, come. This tree is waiting, dude. This tree is absolutely waiting for you to come and camp under it. Like technically, you won't have to camp. We have bedding and a roof for you. What are you doing? She has her little elbow up against my bum, and as she's like moving around, she's like tickling my bum. Can you not? Can you not tickle my bum? You little silly. You little silly girl. Huh? Little silly girl. There we go. She went and laid down. She actually listened. That candle sound, right? Oh, I love those candles. Need to make sure what the name again. Woodwick candle. Very fancy. Very fancy candles, apparently. Very well received, I guess. I like them. I've tried making my own candles. I feel I was only limited by my packaging material, if anything. They worked as candles. They just made a mess, like an actual mess, like the ground and stuff. It was horrible. But I got to save my wax, so I guess that's good. Your next breath is not promised, so enjoy them. Uncle Becky said something that had been resonating with me ever since he said those words, where he mentioned the only thing that we can take is a breath, and even that we have to give back. And it's been beautiful. Every single time I think about that, I some mice you can. Let's make some space for peopleness. I don't know if you can see her that much. I've been gifted so many good days. It's only fair I live through a few not so good ones. I'm breathing with high quality humans, doing better than I deserve. You deserve to do even better, Uncle Becky. And it's funny you say that. Yesterday, look at this. A tick. A random tick on my grinder. I actually found a tick on myself today. So the fact that I see one before it gets to be on me is good. Uncle Becky, better than he deserves. Quality humans. Hmm. Nope, it's gone. It's gone, Uncle Becky. That freaking tick, took it from me. Learned that from you. So much love. So much love from Uncle Becky. You look like Hangman Adam Page. I don't know who that is, but thank you, friend, for seeing some synchronicity in me as well. How are you doing? How was your day? Chewing her bone. I have never had a bad time on LSD, mescaline, shrooms, just mind expanding good times. I didn't say there are bad times to be had. I said they aren't always fun. Like I believe that there is a good experience to be had regardless. Especially from my perspective, my most difficult trip was on 1 grams of mushrooms. And this trip was prefaced with me feeling sorry for myself, me having this sense of, oh, this person is so disrespectful. That was kind of my mindset because this friend of mine he was a little bit rude. He was, to be completely honest, like he was unnecessarily rude, and I was stripping out about that. Instead of trying to make Like you can chew your bone, just don't chew it against me. Like it was breaks it right up against me again. It was unnecessarily rude, and I was tripping out about it. And instead of making a scene, creating conflict between me and him about that, I was just holding it in myself and being passive aggressive, technically. And I felt this energy, and I was like, I'm gonna take mushrooms tomorrow to. I guess my intention was to explore whatever that was, and yeah, it it was the it was an insight into what people would call a bad trip, because it was filled with thoughts of self-hatred, filled with thoughts of self-doubt, filled with thoughts of, you know what's the point of all of it, filled with thoughts of, I don't know if I want to be here anymore, thoughts of, ooh, it's a boss lace up, yo, this thing just started biting her, like these type of thoughts. And then at one point, after having like suffered with these feelings for like hours, it it told me, it's you. Like all of these things. I oh you see. All of these horrible feelings, all of these, beliefs that you have, all of these self-pitying bullshit that you're going through right now, it's all you. It's you doing it to yourself. It's not your friend. It's not the world. It's not the mushrooms. It's you, oh. And I was like, ugh. And I came out of that, room after literally wallowing in self pity, with a smile on my face. And my Omi is like, "You better, Christianity. She's like, you better now." I'm like, "Yo, I was doing it to myself." He's like, "Yep." Distraction, sneaky little devil. Video games are one of those that we swore off for 30 days due to this disconnecting, reconnecting. We've turned to board games, drawing with our girls, and we are loving it. That sounds amazing, Candace. What video games were you playing beforehand? Bless you so much. Hope you're back to 100% soon. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much. Very similar outlook to your own. Thank you, friend. My stream username. My favorite username of all of Reddit. Choo choo blue. Hey, it's even Bub! They make you jury duty as the price for being able to vote. Seriously, it's dog shit. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hey, hey, kan je alsjeblieft relax? Wil je bien? Los. Los y bien. Start scratching herself. Mash, mash, mash. Mash, mash, mash. Mash, 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 mash. Mash, 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 mash. Bro. Can you buy moon rocks? You can buy moon rocks, goodness, from dispensaries. Whole ass moon rocks. I mean, moon rocks makes sense because that's like a luxury item, right? It's like a cool, oh, look at my moon rock type item. Uncle Becky, I hope you're feeling okay today. I hope so as well, Bob. Thank you for sharing love. Gears of War, Pokemon Unite, Animal Crossing, Crusader Kings, etc. Strategy games with Teddy. Just a bit of everything for me. We didn't feel good about it at the end of the night. Yeah, especially like you have four daughters, especially then being able to do things with them, I think is going to always be better instead of you both just being in your own space, doing your own thing, if you will. And I thought about that, Candace. I had an epiphany like that on a big mushroom trip on New Year's, where I was consulting why for a long time in my life I believed that I wasn't loved by my parents. And then I just realized both my parents like doing their own thing in the same way that I like doing my own thing. And because they were willing to do their their own thing, and allowed me to do my own thing, I felt like there was a lack of love in that situation. But that was their love in that situation nonetheless. But I think it's good that you and Teddy want to be there for your girls. Play board games instead. I'm gonna bite you back. I'm gonna bite you back, you little monster. Now we're flying goblins. Now that we have waiting for the girls to go to sleep and then playing games still didn't feel right. Too much technology. Now we have Flying Goblins. That is a board game that you launch wooden meat into a castle. Try to get diamonds and coins in different rooms of the castle. That sounds sick. That sounds sick, Candace. That sounds like a fun game, actually. I would like to play that. I, I, I. Absolutely recommend this game for those who have kids. It sounds like fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. Ow! You see that little dent in my flesh? Hey, I'll bite you back, man. Bite you. I'll bite you back. Yeah, what do you want me to bite you back? She doesn't believe me. You see that face? It's like, bitch, you can bite me. I don't believe you. Teddy played. And knowing how he is kept launching his goblins across the table into oblivion. Has no chill. No chill whatsoever. Uncle Becky, I hope you're feeling okay today, man. You have an incredible memory. I did. Unfortunately, paying in pain, having a good memory comes with the caveat of remembering what you forget. So I believe I have a terrible memory. Hey man, Uncle Becky, stop biting me. Stop it. Okay, you stop biting me now. She doesn't believe me. She doesn't believe me. The swing tree, of course, of course. I look forward to being under that one as well. I want to actually use some of that wood to make something. Maybe like a little pendant or something. Hey, relax. Relax, yay. Yeah, relax. Yeah, with that, I lived true and living with MDMA once in a while is helpful. Yeah, actually, I haven't had an MDMA experience in like four plus years, but that also has potential benefits, especially for PTSD. Hello to you, newbie. Very fitting name. It's nice to have you here, my friend. How are you doing? Is it the first time you're here? Are you joining from YouTube or are you joining from Reddit? Swing tree. Lived through something looked like a tick on your right knee. No, like I found two ticks, one on Pippi and one on my grinder just today. And I found a tick on myself, sucking my blood today as well. And I really don't like finding ticks. And I live on a farm, so it's not that uncommon, but it really isn't nice. Where are you, South Africa? Day 330? Yeah, dude, 380 days of showing up every day. All good, found you on Reddit. Thank you for joining us, my friend. It's nice to have you. A state of bliss. Yeah, the mindset you enter with plays a big part in the experience. Set and setting, those words need to be printed on psychedelics. How do you realize that it's all you? You meditate, my friend. You meditate, you breathe, and you watch everything else disappear and realize you're the one aware of it disappearing. you know and you can go into float tanks as well. Float tanks have lack of information when it comes to sound, lack of information when it comes to what you can feel with your skin. Oh, how do you realize? I feel like you're describing my mushroom trip. Whoa, relax. Let's see. Finding Nemo. The first 30 minutes of the movie is beautiful. Then once he gets lost, the water turns a dark shade of blue. Just rewind to the start and watch the first 30 minutes again. What a trip! I didn't actually notice that they played that game of colors. I'm kind of curious now, actually. Just waiting for those dispensaries to be available in the UK. At some point, it will be, my friend. At some point, it will be. You should get a chew glove for the pup. She has one. She has multiple ones, Uncle Becky. She just likes fingers because fingers articulate while she chews on them. Isn't that right? But if I tell her to relax, then sometimes she listens. Sometimes. Sometimes she gets some ear stretches. Oh, oh, you want to move? Want to go somewhere else? No? Okay. Little shenanigans. There's a barbecue. There's a barbecue. Are you pretending to not want to bite me so that if I get close, you're gonna try and bite me? Oh, okay, I see. And if I just bring my hand like up to her and I don't actually articulate my fingers, then she's like, no, I don't want that. I don't want to hear that. Okay, you go here. Okay, yeah, I don't wanna. I thought so. I wanted to say something like I don't wanna spend time with you, but I was like, no, I can't even say that as a joke. Hey, relax, relax. You should get a chew glove. Oh, a chew glove. Like you actually have a glove around your hand. That might not be a bad idea, but it might also encourage her to bite harder down on hands than she's supposed to. You know, like right now, I have a system with her where she knows that she can bite me a certain intensity, and then past that intensity, I make like chunk sounds, like crying sounds, and I used to make those crying sounds. Now I'm just like, hey, and she understands like that means like, hey, what are you doing? You should get your glove. Did you find a job yet? I did, the machine. I did. I found a job, my friend. I found a job. And now you're my employer. Oh, your dog is so cute. She's the best. She's such a cute little thing. Like, she's just a cute little thing. Hey, whoa. Restach means relax or like calmly. Calm. Oh goodness, that little puppy kid, because did you see it? I'm sorry, bitch. Yeah. Just like a little kiss. Whoa. Whoa. She's crazy. She's crazy. She's a crazy girl. Crazy. Oh, I got you. And she doesn't bite down. That's the thing as well. Like she looks like she's biting me, but she's like doing that basically. Sometimes, sometimes she bites me, and then I let her know. I let her know. I let her know. I let her know. You go somewhere. You go. Go there. And find it. Sukum means go and find them. Find them. M was the first ever drug experience. It changed me forever. I'm curious about how much you took. I'm curious about how much you took, Toast. Zoborg. Zogord. Zoborg breaks things. As opposed to Jobot makes things. So good as that little puppy kiss. I'm curious, Jobot. What does this account for? Is it for the dark side of the Reddit? Oh hey, it's my other account. Yeah, I was also curious. I was like, it was my first experience of what I now feel is God. There we go, Toast. Ooh, I'm curious about this experience. Would you be willing to share a bit more? A bonus to this cold weather, a break from worrying about ticks. That's true. You know, ticks and insects. Oh my goodness, no! That's gross, yo. Oh, it's still bits of poop in your mouth. Oh, that's gross. She just had like a big old duck turd or goose turd in her mouth. No, you're. Oh no, your poopy mouth. I think I know you. I think I know you. He says, "Oh my goodness, a new puppy, a glass darkly. She is. She is a new little pupper. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Yes." And she has her, butthole flush with my pants again. And she's doing it on purpose. You see this little tail? She can't tuck it. But no. Instead, she has to have her butthole flush with my leg. Yes, that's the only way. And now you're terrorizing me. Terrorizing me with your poop mouth. I don't want you to terrorize me with your poop mouth. You little monster, you. No! Whoa! Did you see that turn? Whoa! Are you a gymnast? Whoa! You're cool. There's bits of poop on my finger after she bites me now. No, ouch! No, you stay there. Help me, help me, I need help. No, you stay there. No, you stay. No, 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 you stay there. Ouch. Stop, stop hurting me. You broke my shirt. I want to settle in the cradle of that tree behind you. There's actually a tree seat, Uncle Becky. There's a tree seat up there. There's a big old tree seat up there, so you actually can. And I have actually sit in that cradle as well. It's unfortunately not that comfortable. Maybe if we put a cushion there. Ow, ouch, ouchie. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe a little bit. Those little specks of black goose poop. Thank you, puppy. Thank you. Thank you for bringing goose poop. I appreciate it so much. You little monster. You little shenanigans. You little shenanigans machine. You know, rest. Let's see how long it lasts. Okay. While I'm undistracted. I want to sit on the cradle behind the tree. I've climbed trees since I was a kid. My happy place. Like Uncle Becky, right there is the tree seat. It's really beautiful up there, man. You have to come and sit there. You know, when you come through. Clever girl. She is. She really is smart. So she's very smart. And then she pretends not to be. She's been pooping in the house, dude. Yeah, see. You know, I'm like, you're smarter than this, dude. I believe in you. Go poop outside. You know where the outside is. Hey, Corey. Thank you for joining us, my friend. It's been forever. It's been forever. How are you doing? How's the new year been? How was your holiday? Whoa, another great username, right? 1 point, Uncle Becky. She is 100%, 110% doggo love. And good morning to you, Dark Zombies. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing, my friend? How's Texas? It's been a while since you've been here. And yeah, Uncle Becky, like 100% crazy. No, like she's so crazy. And I feel I'm partly responsible. I I said this to my mom today. Oh, it looks like Pippi is no, well, like for my Pippi is no my own. That's what I said to her, which basically translates into, oh, it looks like Pippi is my dog now. You know, because she doesn't leave my side, no matter where I go. If I'm in my computer room, if I'm in my room, if I'm streaming, like she's by my side, and she'll jump off of the other family members' laps to come and sit on mine. So I'm like, yeah, my dog. The miraculous point of the stream where you are completely caught up with chat. I'm in a state of double bliss, you know, when it rains, because as it happened, I got to be free from Pippi as well for a little bit. So we have a moment, you know, if we're flying through space, this is the point at which the thrusters kind of got turned off. We're still moving just as fast, just as much infinity is hitting us all the time, but the acceleration, you know, isn't there anymore. Now we're just like, that makes sense. She chose you. Yeah, of course, of course. I believe it's a display of love, as it always is. So I love her so much as well. She has her little throwing toy. Oh wow, what's that? What's that you got there? Oh yeah, chew it. Yeah, get it. Get that thing. Chew it. Chew it up. Oh yeah, yeah, you got it. You forgot it. Yeah, get it. Get it. Oh, she's precious. You know, and technically she's just being a dog. She's just being herself. I'm not expecting her to be this or that. I just get to appreciate what she is. And, talking about distractions, you can say that she has been one of the most beautiful distractions ever. Do we get pets as distractions? I wonder. Great to be back in routine after our trip. Wife tested positive for COVID a few days ago. Very minor. We're both vaxxed fully. I'm happy to hear that it's made it very minor, my friend. Darth Zombie is like Uncle Becky and Aunt B actually had some symptoms or are having at this moment some symptoms as well. I'm happy to hear that you're not sick. I'm happy to hear that your trip was great. I hope so. I mean, you didn't say too much about your trip. How was your trip, Darth? Did you appreciate it? Did you learn something? Did you bring something back from it? All good on this end. I always want to come on and say hello and see how you are, but Jimmy keeps me way too busy. Corey, you're so loved, my friend. Just know that wherever you are in the world, I know that you're sharing love, and I'm sharing love with you. So, love is being shared, no matter what. Thank you for being here so that we can see, I guess, the love being shared. I love to imagine how interesting our world would be if he greeted each other the way dogs do. So a lot more excited, tail wagging, sniffing each other's butts. All of the previous points, I was like, yeah, 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 Shell. And then you said sniffing each other's butts. And I'm imagining what that would look like. You know, would we be very proper about that? Would we like walk up, squat down? Would we grab onto the person's like thighs to bring the butt closer? No, Shell. I feel the excited. I do greet people like that. I get excited. I run up to them. I give them a big hug. But it's not always that easy to be excited to meet people. So, if anything, I wish we were always as excited to meet each other as dogs can be. A chew toy is an acceptable alternative to, to goose poop. I accept as well. A glass darkly. Thank you for joining us, my friend. It's so nice to have you here. How have you been? How have you been? Gently biting in wrestling, rolling around a lot, more cuddling, running, chasing. That sounds amazing, actually. Wait, you all don't do that. Pets tend to make the world feel a little lighter. I agree completely. I agree completely. And technically, we distract ourselves to do just that, to make the world a little bit lighter. Because whatever we're busy with, whatever we're distracting ourselves from, can sometimes be a little bit heavy. And this whole stream can be seen as a glorified distraction. I just feel we're trying to distract ourselves. We're trying to learn how to distract ourselves. You see this? You see this? You see what's happening here? Bumhole straight up against me. Like she's doing it on purpose. I'm sure she's doing it on purpose. Oh goodness, I love her too much. I guess I just have to accept it and don't die. We're trying to be distracted without being lost. We're trying to distract ourselves with things that are positive, like the experience of a little pup, like this experience of sharing love with one another, so that when we have to be focused, instead of just distracting ourselves aimlessly, floating through somewhere, we were like, yes, this is what I want to be occupied with, distracted by, if you will. And I appreciate you, friends, so much for spending this time with me. Like, I cannot thank you enough. We have two Shibas, and I couldn't imagine my wife without them. Imagine my life without them in my life. That's amazing, Darth. Like they're genuinely some of the most beautiful parts of this world for me. We had a great time, and we had a great time, and I appreciate travel more before the pandemic. And to witness how terrible some people are in today's world, we still had a great trip, though. I'm happy to hear that, friend. I'm sorry that you had to deal with all of the new regulations when it comes to traveling. I'm sure that wasn't fun. One dog always submits to the butt sniffing. So you don't want your butt sniffed as a dog? To all the pretty hot dog. Exactly. Exactly that, Toast. Maybe that's what she's doing. She's putting butthole prints on me so that if any other dog comes close, They'll be like, yes, this person already has a dog. He's been stamped multiple times. The dog has picked their spot. Our dog doesn't know she is a dog, and she does not do butt sniffing, but she does mouth kissing. Yeah, where they lick other dogs' faces, right? Watching your streams has greatly affected me and how I look at things in the world now. I was able to test being more positive on our trip. Thank you. Dar Zombie is thank you, friend. You know, like I feel where your thank is coming from, and I appreciate and I accept it so humbly and so gratefully. But I honestly believe you're the one that's supposed to be thanked in this situation. You being more positive, more loving, more open to the positive possibility of experience, you brought that into the world. The world is a better place because of you for that. And I thank you for that, man. If I could inspire you to do that, I can take only a fraction of the credit, my friend. It's all you. And I appreciate you so much for sharing it with me. Our dog doesn't know. Sometimes your stream is definitely a distraction to me. Like when I start work really early and I put on my desk, but I always know it's a distraction. I'm waiting for a nugget of love or some wisdom. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle, for feeling like you can expect that from this space. That is what we try to do. You know, I don't consider myself an infinitely wise person, but when we open this space and when we allow information to flow from one another, things come out of that, you know, wisdom, if you will, nuggets of love, if you will. And I appreciate you for being here for that, genuinely, Michelle. My dog only knows how to be a dog. I only barely know how to be a human when it rains, so your dog is doing pretty well. Hey there, lovely person. No, you. Crayon, friends, lovely, beautiful, holy, and divine friends. Thank you. Thank you for sharing this space with me. Thank you for allowing this distraction, if you will, in your life. Our thing we're saying today was a commitment is the deliberate decision that something will be so. And it's okay for us to distract ourselves if we've made that commitment, especially if this commitment that we've made is for love to be true. So, no matter what we do, no matter how we distract ourselves, if the commitment we make is for love to be true, then it will be. It is inevitable. We're doing it. We're seeing it in one another, in this world we're living in, friends. And I cannot thank you enough for being a part of it. The beautiful part of streaming, it's such a free flow. There's nuggets happen in their own way. Exactly that, Uncle Becky. Like, I don't feel like these nuggets are like crafted beforehand and like come and I'm like, look at this nugget. It's very much like, oh, this thing rolls into this, and then this thing rolls into that, and then this thing rolls into this, and then suddenly a nugget, and then that nugget gets shared, or the fruiting body, if you will. And when it rains, his words. Cheers. Bye, buddy. Love all you to bits. Love you so much. Thank you for the helpful Darth Zombie is. Beloved friends, I'm going to say goodbye for today. Love you, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone.